Oh my gosh. That's a big gill. Okay, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of The Pursuit of a 10. I know it's been a long time since my last episode, but here we are. It's episode 7, and my friends, we are focused on finding a 10-inch bluegill. So I've only been to this lake one time. It was actually recently, and I was filming a video about the Rapala original jerkbait, and I caught a lot of bluegill and bass that day. Nothing huge, but it definitely showed some potential for some decent bluegill. So I figured, hey, let's come back here. Let's see what we can do. I've got 2 ultralights with me. One is rigged up with a micro drop shot. The other one is rigged up with a mule jig. I'm gonna start my efforts out deep, and then I'm gonna work my way up to the shallows. It's fall, they could kind of be anywhere, but ultimately, if we can find some big bluegill, that would be the goal. Regardless, the more I sit here and ramble about it, the less time I have to fish. So what do you say we hop in the canoe and get started? I have a feeling there's gonna be fish shallow and deep. In fact, right here, look, I just stirred up a bunch of fish. Probably tiny bluegill if I was a betting man. But there's been a lot of rain lately, and a lot of times that rain pushes fish up shallow. It's a decent bass. No, he's not decent. He's like 10 inches. No matter what, I'm pretty sure we'll catch fish. The question is, will we be able to find those big gills? I don't know. Oh, where's that drop off? I gotta find where it gets deep. There's a fish. Probably a little bass is what it's looking like. We're on the board. I was just drifting the jig around real quick. Wrong species, but I'll take anything at this point. Just thankful to be on the board. No skunk in this canoe, my friends. If I hold it this close to the camera, does it make it look like a giant? Yeah, well, it's definitely not a giant, but it's a fish. So I'm happy. Okay, buddy. Now we gotta find the bluegill. Okay, I'm gonna put down the mule jig. I think the micro drop shot on the deepest drop I can find is what is going to catch me a big bluegill. I don't know why I think that, but I just think that, so I wanna try it. Where does it deepen out? I want it to be like 10 plus feet. Everything I'm finding is like 4 to 6 feet deep. I don't know exactly where that drop off is. I wonder if I need to go just a little further out towards the middle. On the little drop shot, that is not gonna be a big fish. I don't think, at least. Oh, it's another bass. The question is, how am I going to figure out how to catch something other than bass? Okay, another tiny bass, but I put the micro drop shot to use, so that's cool. Look at that. Little tiny drop shot, little tiny bass. I will find them, just takes time. All right, buddy. Might have to change colors. This white might be just a little bit too much for him in this clear water. Oh, there's a, what's this? I don't think we're in the right area yet. I think that's gotta be a bass, the way it's fighting. Not a big one by any means. No, that's a bluegill. Hey, you know, maybe we are in the right area. It's not a bad one. It's a good way to start. That is the right species. Ultralight drop shot hanging in the mouth right there. Yes, sir. 7-incher, turning them loose. All right, if there's 7 inchers, hopefully there's some 10 inchers, who knows? It's quite a big difference between a 10 and a 7, but I'll definitely take that fish. It's the right species, and I'll take it. There's one. That's gotta be a bass. If that's a gill, it's gonna be a good one. I don't know, it's kind of fighting like a gill. No, it's a bass. I was gonna say, when I set the hook, it's like that felt like too chunky. Not that it's a big bass, but it just did not feel like a bluegill. Well, today we are going to probably have to weed through a couple of these little guys. Must be a lot of these little fellas in there. See, buddy. That was a weird hook set. I looked like a total doofus. That is a dinky bass. God, we're gonna have to really weed through a lot of these, I think. Oh, there's so many of these little fellas in there. What was this? That was a good hook set, not gonna lie. Oh my gosh, okay. I feel like I'm gonna move locations because this is the land of dinky bass. Something tells me no matter where I go on this lake, I'm gonna catch these things. Okay, seriously? Seriously? Come on. My drag is screaming way too much for this little fish. I should probably tighten my drag a little bit, but all good. Another one. Okay, where are the bluegill? Why not? Let's go play around in the ultra shallow water, see if the bluegill came up here to feed on any insects that got flushed into the water. We've gotten a lot of rain recently. I could definitely see the bluegill saying, you know what, screw it, we're gonna go up to 6 inches of water. Speaking of, I bet this is a bluegill. Maybe it's a bass. It is a bluegill. It is just not a big one. Great, everything's just going swell today. But it is a bluegill. Oh, there's a little bass holding it. God, there's bass everywhere, dude. They're all dinky. Rinky dink. There's a fish. Ah, got a reel, got a reel, got a reel. Probably, what is this? This might be a decent gill, actually. Yeah, decent gill. Oh yeah. Not huge, not huge at all, but it's a bluegill. What is this gonna be? It's actually decent feeling. It's probably a bass. If this is a gill, it's a nice one, but it's gotta be a bass. This has gotta be a bass. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. Random, but that's what we're looking for, by golly. Yes, sir. Golly, that caught me off guard. I'm out here in the middle, kind of a random spot, just a 4 to 6 foot grass flat. Let's see how long this guy goes. Yeah, that one's over 7, that one's 8. It's an 8-inch gill right there. Dadgum, man. Ay, ay, ay. Size potential is here. I'll take an 8-incher all day. Okay, well, I just kind of wandered off into a random spot and was like, whatever, I'll start casting around out here. And it paid off. That fish hit it immediately when it hit the water. Okay folks, I'm about an hour and a half into this fishing trip and I've probably got about an hour left to fish, but I tell you what, this body of water, well, it's confusing me. If you go up in the shallows, you've got lots of lily pads. If you work your way offshore, you've got lots of offshore grass, but I cannot find water any deeper than like 3 to 6 foot deep. This body of water is very shallow, it's very clear, and there's a ton of juvenile bass, which is making it hard to pattern those bluegill. That being said, it clearly is showing some potential, so I have to believe there's at least 1 or 2 10-inchers down there, so I gotta keep my bug in the water and keep after it. Though a couple things that I wish that this body of water had was slightly dingier water. I wish it had a little bit deeper water, and I also wish that there was actually less vegetation. I just think there's just way too much vegetation in here, and it's just making it really hard to break down. Bass totally just like chased a bluegill or something right there. That's probably a sign that I need to get back to fishing, so let's do that. Oh. Hey, oh my gosh, yes. Did you see that? That was a bluegill jumping out of the water. Yes, sir. Probably about 6.5 inches, 6 inches. Just a little guy. See ya, buddy. What's this? What is this? Oh, shh. Dadgummit. I did not hook him good. I think that might have been a nice gill. Maybe there's some big gills on the outside edge of these pads. Okay, that's a nice gill. That's a nice gill. That's a nice gill. That's a nice gill. Ooh, he was down in grass. I thought he was a lot bigger than that. Dadgummit. I thought that was like a tank, but he was just down in a bunch of vegetation, so he felt so much bigger. But hey, we're finding the right species, so that's good. Oh my gosh. That's a big gill. It has to be a big gill. Yes, it is a big gill. Yes, my gosh, did you hear that drag? Holy smokes. Not a giant, but dang, he's a fighter. Let's see. Let's put him on my pelican case here. Get a general gauge on his length. He's probably like 7 inches, honestly. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and measure him since he's cooperating. 7.5. Man, did you hear that drag though? Holy smokes. We're catching some decent ones. They're just not even close to what we're looking for. That fish freaking peeled my drag. My gosh. That one's not as big, but he's also gunning. Oh, they're fighting, bro. Holy smokes. That one's taller, but he's not as long. That one's probably 7 inches, but he's taller. Take a look at that guy. No giants, but a couple of nice healthy fish. That one looks like a largemouth, and he is coming right at me. Oh, water went in my nose. Oh, he splashed water, and I breathed it in my nose. It was a very strange feeling. There's tons of snail shells literally everywhere. Like right here, just probably like 100 snail shells right underneath my canoe. It's so weird. They're everywhere. Oh, snap. A bass has my... I was too busy looking at the dang snail shells, and this little bass is just running around with my horsefly. Hey, buddy, chill out. How about chill ya face? You can catch as many bass as you want in this lake, that's for sure. I'm gonna catch a fish on that cast. Who's ready? 3, 2, 1, eat it. Oh, I knew I was gonna catch a fish on that cast. What'd I say? What is this? He's fighting hard. I think it's just a little bass. It's probably like a 14-inch bass. Yeah, he's down in the pads now. He's probably gonna pop off. Yeah, that's my best bass of the day, that's for sure. Okay, 2-pound test. We gotta be careful here. He's getting in the pads. Ah! Why do they gotta do that crap? Chill out. Who said small baits don't catch decent fish? Who said it? Hey, you know, not a bad little bass. I like that. I know we're not technically targeting bass today, but any fish like this are always welcome. Horsefly, little bass, shallow water, 2-pound tests, ultralights, good times, boys. I refuse to believe that there's not a 10-foot hole in this lake somewhere. I refuse to believe it. I'm literally in like 3 foot of water and I'm way off the bank. Holy smokes, that gunshot had to have been very close. That was right over there. I think I shot across the lake, I swear. That is spooky, and I don't like that at all. I don't know where that freaking guy was shooting, but he shot from over there and it went over there. You know, if I wanted this video to get 1 million views, I would title this video, "Almost shot while trying to catch fish. You won't believe what happens." But that's not my style, so I'm just gonna title this video something along the lines of "I'm trying to catch bluegill on ultralight equipment," because that's really what this video is about. So yeah, don't worry guys, I'm not that clickbait guy. But it did happen. Somebody definitely shot a gun, and that was really spooky. I have no idea how far away that was, but it was not very far. It was someone else along the edge of this lake. Ah, another little bass. Actually, it's a decent one. I just cannot figure out the offshore bluegill. The ones I've caught have all been spaced out and random. But I will take this. I will certainly take this. Got some fight in him, man. Another decent one. Oh, here comes a jump. Oh, what did he spit up? Look at that. Here, let's show you. That's cool. I'm gonna pick up a gross looking dead fish first. That looks... Okay, I'll land him in a second. I don't know what this is. Some kind of bait fish that's been processed. Kind of grody. It might be a dinky bluegill, honestly. I'm gonna set that right there. We will learn more in a second. But he coughed that puppy up. Interesting. All right, we've certainly caught plenty of those guys. Go on now. Okay, so what is this is the question. It is disgusting and it has been chewed up, but that bass certainly enjoyed it and he coughed it up. Interesting. Well, bare minimum, we saw something strange today and we almost got shot. Okay, I just rigged the canoe up to the roof and it is time to go home. I'm sweating, it's muggy out there. I tell you what, today was not necessarily a success, but it also wasn't a complete failure. I mean, I had a lot of fun out there and I caught a lot of fish, so that's a good time. I don't necessarily think that I learned a ton from today's trip, but I do know one thing. It does bring up a good point. If you want to catch big fish, you have to fish where big fish live. And this body of water back here, I just don't think that there's a lot of big bluegill potential, so I don't think I need to come back here to search for them. I do think I'll come back here and fish because it's a fun body of water. It's perfect for kayak fishing, but not necessarily for big bluegill. So, I don't know. It was a good time, but at the end of the day, I feel like I gotta keep exploring and finding new bodies of water because I just don't feel like I've found that right body of water yet. You guys can definitely count on me to keep the pursuit of a 10 going until I finally catch a fish. I have no idea how long it's going to take to catch a 10-inch bluegill. I honestly thought I would have done it by now, but it's taking a while, and that's okay. Half the fun is learning with every trip, and you know, know, trying new things. You know, the micro drop shot did not work for me today, but I think it's going to come in handy in the future when I fish some deeper bodies of water. Okay, I am rambling. The last thing that I'm going to leave you with is, if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel and you want to watch more lightline multi-species fishing, click subscribe below. And then in addition to that, if you are subscribed to this YouTube channel and you want to just simply help me achieve my goals, make sure to share this YouTube channel with a friend. You can email them, you can post it on a Facebook group, you can text a buddy, whatever you want to do. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so very much for watching. We'll catch you next time. I asked him if he only painted ocean scenes. He says for $20, I'll paint you anything. Could you paint me a Birmingham? Make it look just the way I plan. A little house on the edge of town, porch going all the way around. Put her there in a front yard swing, cotton dress making early spring. For a while she'll be mine again. If you could paint me a Birmingham. Paint me a Birmingham. Okay, I'm done.